We're back with another Premier League roundup, and this week produced some big results. Gerrard took his first loss of the season, along with Liverpool battering their Merseyside rivals. Spurs took another win as they beat Brentford 2-0, and Manchester United managed to edge Arsenal in a 5-goal extravaganza. Here's the Premier League roundup. The week began with Newcastle against Norwich, and this game was between the bottom two in the league. 0-0 going into half-time would have been a positive for the Toons, with Kieran Clark getting sent off only in the 9th minute. A penalty from Callum Milton gave Newcastle the lead, but Pukki put the Canaries back on level terms with a stunning volley. All in all, despite complete domination by Norwich, they could not get the win, and this will seem like a big 2 points drop, especially as they are fighting for survival in the Premier League. Leeds against Crystal Palace was also another game about fine margins. It was goalless all the way until the 91st minute, when a penalty was awarded to Leeds and Rafinha coolly converted it to give them a 1-0 win. Not ideal for Vieira. That concludes Tuesday's action, so on to Wednesday, where Wolves played out a 0-0 draw against Burnley, their second 0-0 game in a row. Southampton welcomed Leicester City, and Jan Bednarek scored in the opening 3 minutes. Scoring early is something that they seem to do quite often this season, but Johnny Evans equalised in the 22nd minute through a corner. A good watch. Che Adams gave his side the lead once more, and they were 2-1 up after 45 minutes. There was a delay at this point due to a medical emergency in the stands at half-time, but the game did continue as normal afterwards. In the second half, Maddison, a man in form at the moment, sent Livramento diving, and he tucked away a goal at the near post to make it level at 2-2, and the game finished this way as both sides shared the points. Chelsea went to Vicarage Road to take on the Hornets. An easy game, you may suppose, but within the first 5 minutes you could tell that Ranieri's men were on a mission. One save from Edouard Mendy and a block from Chalobah meant that they could maintain their clean sheet, but eventually the game had to be halted due to a medical emergency in the crowd, similar to that at St Mary's Stadium. Mason Mount, once the game had continued, slotted away the opener completely against the run of play, but to many Hornets' relief, Dennis, a man only bested by Mohamed Salah this season in terms of goals and assists, got them level before the break. 1-1. Chelsea knew that it would be a difficult game to win, and in the second half it was just as hard. But Ziyech, he came off the bench and scored from a Mason Mount assist, and the Blues won 2-1. A performance that Chelsea fans may not have enjoyed, but the result is really all that matters. Watford had more shots than Chelsea and nearly paralleled their possession stats with 49%. They were very, very unlucky. The Merseyside derby was on Wednesday too, and it's safe to say Jurgen Klopp highlighted the disparity in quality between the two sides. Henderson banged in a goal after only 9 minutes, followed by Mohamed Salah 10 minutes later. However, just before half-time, Demarai Gray scored to give the blue side some hope, which was later shattered as they conceded 2 more, one from Mohamed Salah again, and a sublime finish from Diogo Jota into the roof of the net. Rafa Benitez is now under huge pressure, and his next game against Arsenal is a big one, possibly being the final straw if he cannot come away with a win. In East London, West Ham played Brighton, and they took the lead after 5 minutes through a corner, which Solskjaer nodded into the net. A back-and-forth game ended with Neil Maupay scoring a stunning overhead kick in the 89th minute, levelling the game. Despite only gaining 1 point from their last 3 games, West Ham are still in 4th, and they can count themselves very lucky. David Moyes needs to up his game if they want to be in a Champions League spot at the end of the season. Now to Villa Park, where many Villa fans welcomed, or should I say booed, the return of Jack Grealish with Manchester City. He didn't start, instead Sterling did, who had played quite well. 2-0 up before the break, Pep's side were in a good position with goals from Ruben Dias and a magnificent counter-attack that culminated with a spectacular volley from Bernardo Silva, a man who is playing sumptuous football at the moment. Ollie Watkins, he scored 2 minutes into the second half, but Aston Villa, despite all the pressure, could not manage a result, as Steven Gerrard faced his first loss as Aston Villa boss. Finally, on to Thursday's action, where Spurs played Brentford and Manchester United played Arsenal. Spurs saw out a 2-0 win with an own goal from Canos, and Son Heung-min from a superb counter-attack. Conte is yet to be defeated in the Premier League with Tottenham. Now, we arrive at Old Trafford, where Manchester United went against Arsenal, the team that the Red Devils haven't beaten in their last 6 encounters. If you wanted action, this was the match for you, as Smith Rowe scored in the 13th minute in the most peculiar fashion. Upon scoring, David De Gea was on the floor curled up as he had been injured. Fouled, you may ask. When checking, it was seen that Fred had trodden on him, and he was really hurt. This decision was really out of the referee's hands, and the goal had to be given. If that was the other way around, I would definitely have wanted the goal. The game continued as both sides knew the next goal would be crucial, and it was Fred that laid it off to Bruno Fernandes, who tucked it in and ended his longest goal drought for the club just before half-time. The best time to score, you may say. And early on in the second half, Ronaldo tucked in another to make his total goal count now 800 for club and country. Simply ridiculous. No one else will ever come close. But there was no time to celebrate, as only a minute and a half later, Odegaard put away a Martinelli pass and it was 2-2. Completely shambolic defending once again. Pressure from both sides ultimately led to Odegaard giving away a foolish foul inside the box on Fred, a challenge he really did not need to make, which meant that the Red Devils were given a penalty. Ronaldo smashed it right down the middle and they won 3-2, with the last 20 minutes for me being full of absolute suspense and anticipation. Shortly after the game, Michael Carrick revealed that he would be in fact leaving the coaching staff, as he was initially meant to stay with Rangnick. After 15 years with the club, his time has finally come to an end, and you can only salute the man for taking this decision. That finishes up this week's action, but the Premier League returns tomorrow, and with some decent matches too. West Ham play Chelsea in a London derby that I believe will result in an upset. I'm going for 1-1. The Hammers midfield is their strong point, and Chelsea, I believe, have far too many injuries to cope, with Chalobah joining this list too. Ralph Rangnick takes control of his first game as coach of Manchester United, and I think he will mark it with a 3-1 win against Crystal Palace. Everton take on Arsenal, with Rafa Benitez desperate for any sort of positive result. No Calvert-Lewin still, it will be a hard game for both sides, with Aubameyang seriously off form. The Everton fans will push them, but I believe they will lose. Arteta's side need a bounce back, and they have shown their quality this season. I'm going for a 2-0 win to the Gunners, which means ultimately I think this will be Rafa Benitez's last game in charge of Everton. That's it for this week, but let me know your predictions down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smack that like button, and if you're not subscribed already, make sure you do. But until next time, goodbye.